On this episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, we're talking the Big 12 schedule, how I think the Mountaineers got a huge break in this year's scheduling, and how the Mountaineers are taking a revenge tour to Houston come this season. Stay tuned for that and more on this episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football.
This is for Cameron.
What is up, everybody? Welcome in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. You've landed again here at Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to the show. Really appreciate you guys for stopping by to chat with me today. We're going to be talking about the Big 12 schedule. We've been waiting on it for months, it seems like, and what is going to be a historic 2023 season for the Big 12, possibly a new name for the conference. Yet Brett Yormark has talked about rebranding the conference at some point. Will that be happening sometime soon? We don't know. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this schedule. Just a quick outline of what this schedule is for the Mountaineers in 2023. This is the schedule that's going to include 6 home games for the Mountaineers, which is great. And those 6 games make up 4 conference games, Duquesne and Pitt, on September 16th. And can you believe it, guys? This is going to be the first time since 2011 we have seen those ugly MFers coming to Morgantown. I can't wait for it, y'all. Now, obviously, guys, we know the first 3 games of the year, Pitt, Duquesne, obviously opening the year at Happy Valley, playing Penn State. But this is going to be more about the conference portion of the schedule. We're going to be going through that and talking specifically about, well, really 2 games. West Virginia University Vice President Ridden Baker had a few things to say on the schedule before we get started. Let's read off what he said. He said, I'm looking forward to my first football season at West Virginia, and I'm excited to be a part of the Backyard Brawl, which is one of the greatest rivalries in college football. The Big 12 welcomes 4 new members into this league, which makes this a special season. My family and I are certainly looking forward to gold and blue football Saturdays in Morgantown. Players know what kind of schedule we play year in and year out, and they are preparing for the grind it takes. The Big 12 is so strong and competitive. For the 3rd straight year, we will open with a Power 5 opponent on the road. We have a lot of work still ahead of us in our winter conditioning, spring practices, and summer camp. The season will be here before you know it, and our focus will be getting better every day in preparation for one of the strongest football schedules in the country. That last paragraph was Neil Brown talking about the season. Another interesting tidbit to this is West Virginia will be playing all 4 new members of the new Big 12. All right, let's get into that conference schedule, guys. Let's go. Obviously, Penn State, Duquesne, and Pitt come first. And then as we get into the Big 12 portion of the schedule, we've got at home, September 23rd, Texas Tech. On the road, September 30th, TCU. On a Thursday night, the game I want to talk about, the Fighting Dana Holgorsens. Dana Holgorsen said West Virginia can't win the Big 12. Since he's left and gone to Houston, even though he hasn't won a conference championship yet. He has won some games, but he's won very little since he left as himself. But since Neil Brown has taken over 2019, West Virginia has not been ranked, not even a week, in the AP poll or the top 25. Making Dana Holgorsen look right is one of the things that piss me off more than anything else about this whole situation. He never cared about being in Morgantown. He was rude to people while he was there. Yes, he won us some football games. I'll be forever grateful for the Orange Bowl. And some of the offenses that we had. But I'll never be okay with the way some people in Morgantown were treated by Dana Holgorsen. Certainly the way he just threw us to the wayside like Houston was a better job, but it at least historically was not. He just didn't want to admit that he wanted to go home. And so we go play the Hair on a Thursday night in Houston. In my opinion, I feel like the Big 12 really missed its opportunity here to really get some, in my opinion, it would be better ratings to have this game in Morgantown. I'm not really sure why they put this game on the road. In my opinion, that's a big miss by whoever did the scheduling for the Big 12. Maybe logistically they just couldn't figure it out. I don't know. But it seems to me like bringing Dana Holgorsen back to Morgantown would certainly cause a much more of a ruckus than Mountaineers going to Houston. This is a game I want so bad. I want them all, but I want to beat Dana Holgorsen, and I want to do it in Houston. It'll actually taste that much sweeter to do it that way. Let me know down in the comments, guys. How do you feel about that? And also subscribe to the channel, guys. If you're not subscribed to Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, would really appreciate that. Also, like I said, let's have a dialogue. Let's talk about this new Big 12 schedule. Let's talk about going on the road to play Dana Holgorsen. Are you excited about that? Are you pissed at Dana still? Or have you forgiven him, or did it never bother you to begin with? Let me know down there, guys. So after the Thursday night game against Houston, West Virginia gets 9 days off before they get Oklahoma State at home for homecoming. Now, you can't tell me Mike Gundy's not going to use that as motivation for his guys. It's hard to believe that we've scheduled Oklahoma State for a homecoming game, but unfortunately, that late October slot's usually when homecoming usually is. So Oklahoma State just happens to be it this year. Usually, I think that's a Kansas. Usually, Kansas is scheduled there. At times in the past, I think Iowa State was scheduled there. But this year, it's Oklahoma State, and Mike Gundy, after everything that's happened, maybe coaching for his job, his seat's gotten a little warm. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Be an interesting couple weeks span there. And then go from that on October 21st, the Oklahoma State game, to October 28th, you're playing the UCF Knights on the road at the Bounce House. One of the most raucous places that you may have never heard of, but if you've never seen a University of Central Florida game on the road, they get busy in the Bounce House. They do really, really good job there. They've got a really loud crowd there in Orlando. This is a team that, in my opinion, is a sleeping giant of a football team. And Gus Malzahn has the boys playing well. They're already recruiting at a Big 12 level. If you go look at some of the players they've been able to get, they've got some players West Virginia wanted in the 4-star range, even what a 5-star player or two, I think. So something to watch for there. November 4th, Mountaineer Week. Brigham Young. For the first time in a few years, if you remember, the last time we played those guys, Sataki was there as the coach. West Virginia was able to pull out a victory. Moving on to November 11th, Oklahoma. This is another game. Oklahoma is probably either going to be close to a double-digit winner by this time of the year, or they're going to be a mediocre team again, obviously. It'd be interesting to see where Oklahoma's at this late in the season. And if you never know, this could be a marquee matchup late in the season for the Mountaineers. We surely hope it is. And then another game, I think this would probably be the second most anticipated game outside of Pitt, obviously, but I'm just talking about in the conference slate on this schedule, and that is the Cincinnati Bearcats, harkening back to our Big East days. We've got them at home on November 18th in a game that I'm really excited about. Now, they're obviously replacing Luke Fickell, but this is still a program that's been on the rise. I wouldn't definitely going to sleep on Cincinnati. We'll see how they have fared come November 18th, having played a full Big 12 schedule by then. We'll see where their roster is by then. Let's see how they manage their roster through a full season of Big 12 football. They'll probably be beat up. Be a good time to play them, in my opinion. And last but not least, we've got Baylor on November 25th. What a way to end the season. Big takeaways. Obviously, no Texas, no Kansas State, no Iowa State, no Kansas. Guys, there's a good chance the Big 12 champ is one of those four teams. I can't explain to you how big of a break we've gotten by missing those four teams. We basically replaced four year in, year out Power 5 teams outside of Kansas, who hasn't been the greatest last year, and obviously Texas. People expect them to win the league next year. Kansas State won 10 games last year and almost made the college football playoff. Won the Big 12. And obviously Iowa State here over the last 5 to 6 years has just drubbed us a few times. So these are four games, in my opinion, that West Virginia will be very lucky to miss. Very lucky. And like I said, you're replacing it with BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston. I'll take that trade right now. These are four teams that are coming into a new environment. They're going to be traveling to new places. They're not going to know the schemes of the teams they're playing. And I think we're going to have the upper hand in these games. What do you guys think? I'd like to know. Like I said, guys, if you're not subscribed to Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, please do so. Drop a comment below and let me know how you feel about this schedule, guys. Are you excited? Do you feel like missing the four teams that I talked about? Is that a big deal to you? Teams you wish you would see on the schedule? Let me know all your thoughts down below, guys. I'd really appreciate that. We're going to start doing a prediction for this schedule probably sometime later in the week. For now, that's all I've got on the Big 12 schedule in 2023. This has been another episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. This episode is over. I'm out.
This is for Cameron. Cam. Oh.